My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Let's stop wasting time and get these instruments taped. You might already have a process for this, and it might be better than mine. If it is, drop comments in the comment section. We'd love to learn from you too. But these are the things that I've learned over the years that help this process go a lot faster, okay? So I'm gonna kind of work backwards here, so bear with me. But this is my pinstriping tape, okay? You might use stickers, you might use whatever, that's fine, I don't care. I use pinstriping tape, and this is gonna be around the pinstriping tape method. Now, I get mine from an auto store. I think I got this from AutoZone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was AutoZone. Get in the zone. Yeah, not a sponsor, but anyway. Got this pinstriping tape. And so I'm just gonna pull it out and kind of show you how I like to keep my tape. So this has been used before. And I use a piece of tape here. So it keeps it in place and it keeps it from unraveling, because the last thing I want to do is like, well, where's the end of this thing, and go on a hunt for it. Okay? If you teach with other people, all right, to prevent arguments, make sure that they understand your system and say, hey, could you possibly, when you're done, just wrap this up so that we can get this done faster the next time, because sometimes tapes need to be replaced, they fall off, whatever. A kid brings in a new instrument, it needs some, it wasn't the right size or something was wrong with it, and they bring it in. All right, so you got to retape it, and you don't want it to be a giant spool of mess. Like, you want it to be like this, and it can stay like this if you put tape around it. Now, the other critical thing is, if you notice the way it's been cut at the very end, sorry, I had to use a macro lens for that, so there's not a lot of light, but you get the idea. There is a section of backing that extends beyond where the tape is. This lets you just pull off some more tape without having to get your fingernails and be like, eh. And we're string players, we don't have fingernails to mess around with. And so, we have to, when we're done with the tape, we can't just cut it off at the end. We have to cut the sticky part of the tape first and then cut the backing second. It's an extra step, but it saves you a lot more time in the process. So going through the taping process, same kind of idea, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take off the tape that's holding this spool together, and I'm gonna make sure it's spooled back when I'm done. All right, how many instruments am I going to tape here? Am I taping 1 or 2 instruments? Am I taping 100 instruments? Okay, how many are you taping at a time? That's how much tape you're gonna pull off. All right, so again, should be really easy to pull off because I left some backing in place. So I'm just gonna grab it. I'm only gonna be taping 1 instrument right now, so I need enough for about 3 tapes. This video is not gonna be about how many tapes and where and whatever, that's for you to figure out. And for me, it doesn't really matter that much. Some people don't tape at all, and God bless you if you don't. For me, I do it for my sanity, because my students don't come in with perfect pitch generally. Okay, so I'm just taking off the amount of tape I'm gonna need, and I'm gonna cut the sticky part of the tape, and it's just kind of dangle. I got a large piece of tape, and it's just kind of dangle, and then look how much backing I have left over, okay? So when I cut off the backing, and again, it's 1 extra step, but it's gonna save you a lot of time, I'm just going to cut slightly above where the sticky part of the tape is, and that way I can get it off faster the next time. Some people just cut off sections of the tape, and goodness, that makes me angry, because then I have to peel the backing off every single time. You know how much time that would take? That would really, really make this process take a lot longer. So I've got 1 big section of tape, and I'm going to cut it into smaller sections. Now I want it to be cut long enough to where it can go all the way around the neck. And the reason why I like to do this is because If I just connect it to the edge of the fingerboard, well, it's going to start to come off, and I don't want to do this any more than I have to, okay? I really only want to do this once per instrument per usage. All right. So here's our instrument that we're going to tape. Make sure it's in tune first. If it's not in tune, because if it's not, then you're not going to get an accurate depiction of where the tape should go as you're taping across, okay? You also want to make sure that your tapes are straight when you're taping them on. They're not going at an angle. That's not going to be good. Hopefully the bridge is in good shape, so you're going to get a consistent tune across the bridge, and that the nut on the instrument is also in good shape, so for the same reason. Otherwise, you might, like, first finger on this string sounds a lot different than it does on this other string. With this one, it's a pretty suspect instrument anyway, so we'll kind of see how it goes. Now, you want to make sure that your fingerboard is nice and clean and the neck is clean so that it doesn't have junk on it. If your tape won't adhere to the neck and the fingerboard, it's going to slide around, and then you're going to have to do this again. You don't want to do this again, okay? There are some solvents that you can use. You can use Goo Gone. That works well if there's sticky stuff on it. You know, you can just take a cloth, a polishing cloth, and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Don't polish it, but just, you know, kind of clean it. Whatever it takes to get it clean. The cleaner it is, you know, the less stress that you're going to have throughout the year. Again, you only want to do this once, okay? So we're going to go tape our first finger. You know, we just come up and under the fingerboard. And then we're going to put it about where we think first finger should be, and we're just going to test it out. It's a little high. We're going to move it down a little bit. You can do this with a tuner if you want. And then I have plenty of room on the sides. I'm going to make sure it's nice and straight. Okay? And I'm going to wrap it around the back. And I'm going to wrap it around this way. Nice long tape so that it's straight across here and it contacts all the way across the back. It's flush on the sides. This should last for a year if it's clean. Or, you know, when they're going to have to size up, you're going to have to do this again. But, you know, for the life of the student playing this instrument, you don't want to do this again. So it's better to do it right the first time so that you don't have to do this again, okay? You're not just thinking about how much time today you're spending on it. You're thinking about how much time total you're spending taping instruments. All right, let's do third finger. Do you tape second finger? Do you not tape second finger? I don't care. Don't care what you do. Okay, again, just put it about where you think it's gonna be, and then you can test it. All right, that's a little low. That sounds a lot better. Again, use a tuner if you want to use a tuner. You know, it's your orchestra. Do it the way you want to. Okay, this one right here does not pass the test. It makes an X in the back. I don't like that. So, gonna do it again. It's better to make sure it's straight first. Didn't do the straight test. Straight around the neck and straight around the neck this way. Now I like to pull it taut on both sides because I don't want extra space on the sides of the neck right here. Okay, this one isn't perfect, but it's a lot better. It's gonna be in pretty good shape. Okay, now we're gonna do fourth finger. Okay, do you have to do fourth finger? I don't know, I don't care. It's up to you. It's not really important. Okay, I put it about where I think it's gonna be. Okay, it's a little high. Again, since I'm tuning to the strings here, if my strings are off, that's gonna be bad. And you know, I also wanna make sure it's straight and I can kinda test. Ooh, that's way off. Yeah, it's too low. I missed. It's okay to readjust, as long as you readjust. Still a little low. Okay, that's better, but it's not straight now. You see it's at an angle, so I need to do the straight test, straighten it out, and then wrap around the back of the neck. Turn around, make sure I'm wrapping it straight. Now, typically, the more the instrument goes towards the neck tends to thicken the more it comes down. So, especially like on your lower string instruments, you're going to need to use more tape the further down you go. Now, this tape's a little too long. It doesn't need to be this long. I'm just going to need to cut it. Snip. Okay. Now it's good. Looks good in the back. Hey, we got our tapes, first finger, third finger, fourth finger. If you're not talking about it, you can do it pretty quickly. You can put a YouTube video or some music on, as long as the music's not getting in the way of your pitch, of course. If you're using a tuner, you might not be able to. You use headphones or whatever, I guess. But, make it fun for yourself. And you could do it really quickly if you prepare your tape better. And if you tape it the correct way in the first place, you're not going to have to do it again and again and again. So try to do it right the first time. That's going to save you time in the long run. All right, great. So in the next video, we're going to go over the bow. That's important for your instrument setup, and you want bows to be functioning right so that throughout the year, your students are playing with good tone and everything, good bow holds, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see you in the next video.